I now have the privilege of introducing tonight's keynote speaker. And as you will soon see, we are extraordinarily fortunate to welcome Amir Rizwan. He is Big Society Capital's Investor Relations Director. He leads on relationships with trusts and foundations, supporting them in their work around mission-led investments, as well as how impact can play a role within their endowment investments. He also leads the organization's work around partnerships and innovation, focusing on the development of early-stage impact funds to tackle UK social issues. Amir has been working in the social investment sector for some 8 years, and he recently led on Comic Relief's social investment strategy. Prior to that, he managed a community housing investment fund for CAF Venturesome, as well as a portfolio of social investments for a range of social purpose organizations. He is currently the co-chair of the Diversity Forum, set up to improve diversity, equality and inclusion within the social investment sector, co-vice chair at the Cripplegate Foundation in Islington, and last but not least, he is also a trustee of the Clothworkers Foundation. And just reading that reminds me that I need to get my skates on because I am very, very behind the curve. And with that, I will welcome Amir, please.
Hi everyone, we'll just bet this is on slant. There you go. Jeopardy of a glass of water on a slant is. Keep an eye on that. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Firstly, in this grand hall, which blew me away when I came in, and I realized it's probably the best place I've given a speech in, so it might actually kind of top that for me. Can I just firstly say a huge congratulations to all the nominated charities that are here today. It's more about, Okay, I also encourage whooping as well, so please whoop away. And also a big thank to the sponsors who, MPC, Prospectus, which we're doing in Clothworkers Capital. I should practice that to make it more smoother, but big thank to them as well. I've been told to speak on the topic of governance for 10 minutes, which I first thought, this is going to be very easy to do. And then I realized it's actually a lot harder than it looks, because governance isn't a thing. It isn't a simple thing to just explain or to understand. It's just something that it's there all the time. And like insurance, it's only in the bad time, of the moments of difficulty and trouble, you realize how good governance is and how much of an important role it plays. But the remainder of the time, it's there, it works. And a lot of people don't really pay much attention to it. My involvement with governance is manifold. As someone who works in the social investment sector, I've worked with charities and social enterprises and social purpose organizations around their own governance to ensure that by having a robust governance structure, they're more able to take on repayable finance or use loan financing to support their impact. And in the moments where social investment hasn't worked, 99% of the time, it is down to governance failures. So it is a critical part of the work I've done. And I've managed to speak to a lot of board members about various things, but from the position of being on an investor side. And then fast forward now, by being on 2 boards, both at Clothworkers and Cripplegate, I see governance from a different perspective, one in which it's about decisions, how you make those decisions, but also the power that you have and the power coming in with both positives and negatives. So in the sense of the positives of it being around how you can support frontline organizations with the funding they need to be able to work with your staff, to empower them to do the work that they do. And then on the flip side, governance, if it's not done properly, it can also be a way in which you crowd out people or you don't open up space for the people, the communities you're looking to serve to be part of the decision-making process. So it is a delicate balancing act, and one in which there isn't a simple one-fits-all answer with everything. But, I've been also kind of told as part of kind of the brief I was given to talk about some of the challenges being faced by the charity sector, and some of them you're well aware of. They've been going on for quite a while. So the whole idea of the economic turmoil and the challenges charities face about their finances isn't just now with everything that's happened with inflation and interest rates. It's been going on for quite some time. But the role of good governance here is about making decisions that might be challenging, but also doing it in a way where you're looking at a horizon over a longer period of time. And then also the work I do within social investment by working with charities and frontline organizations who've used moments like this to diversify their income, look at ways in which they can grow and trade. It isn't for every charity, I understand, but there are ways in which governance can play a role in which you look at kind of how your finances can be managed in a way that also are adapted to the situations that we're facing now. But it isn't an easy thing, so I don't stand here to say that's an easy decision-making sense there. The other thing for me is about trust and transparency. There is some challenge here around the perception of the charity sector, especially from different groups. So if you look at the role that charities play in communities across the UK, it is absolutely magnificent. They've done fantastic work, especially as shown during COVID. But there is still the perception that charities are seen as not being fully representative of the communities they serve. So a key challenge for charities is how do you bring that voice of the users you're looking to support, work with the communities you're looking to work with into the decision-making, but not in a tokenistic way. You do it in a way that you're bringing people in around decision-making, levers of control, and actually doing it in a meaningful, intentional way. And I think that's both a challenge and an opportunity for the charity sector, and I hope that that's something that they look to embrace. And I'll talk a bit later about something that I'm part of in a local authority in London, which is really trying to really remodel that with a different approach. The other thing is about EDI, my favorite 3 words in the sector, because I think it's one of the probably a word that triggers people in different ways. For some people on the board level, EDI can mean it's a fantastic opportunity to do new things and actually really challenge status quo. For others, it's absolutely terrifying because they're saying, actually, we're so far behind on EDI, we don't even know where to begin. And for some, they roll their eyes and say, this isn't important, it's a distraction. So I think to really embrace EDI, you need to look at it from the perspective of this isn't a subgroup in your charity governance group. This has to be something that works across everything you do. And I've been quite fortunate with the work I've been involved with the cloth workers and Cripplegate and seeing the great work they're doing about trying to bring EDI and the EDI lens into everything they do, from the way they give out grants, from the way they kind of recruit members onto the board, the way they make decisions, and all the programs they look to design. It showed you that it can be done, but it is a journey, and not everyone starts at the same place in the journey. So I think it's one of those things in which the challenge here is, for every organization, is where do you begin? Who holds you accountable? And what are you trying to do by going on this journey on EDI as well? What's the aims and ambitions here? I was also going to talk about, for me, the role in which power plays within the charity sector, because having worked on many different sides of the charity sector, I fully understand that it can be quite hard to give up power. Some charities feel that to relinquish power at the board level can be too much of a step for them. However, if you're looking at some of the social issues and challenges we face and the need for collaboration, we really need boards and charities to start collaborating together, and that does involve giving up power. That does involve saying, actually, to solve a complex issue, we alone cannot do it. We don't own this issue. Let's all work together to try and do that. And that requires trustees at the board level to be able to take that brave step to say, you know what, we don't know everything here. We need to be actually facilitators of innovation and collaboration and not hold back either our organization do it or our team wanting to do it. And I think the example that I wanted to give in terms of something that I'm part of, because through my work I'm lucky to be involved in a lot of things, is a project that's taking place in Barking Dagenham, which is a borough in London. It's on the outer edges. The history of Barking Dagenham is a very interesting one. It used to be the home of the automotive industry, but obviously with the decline that took place and everything that happened, the borough's fortune changed. And over the last 30 years, it's been a borough that's seen massive changes, both in terms of demography, both in terms of funding cuts at the local authority level, and now only recently it's going to become one of the major areas in London for regeneration with the amount of money going on. I think they're calling it Barcelona on the Thames. That's not my words. That's some property developer who might not now be calling it Barcelona on the Thames. But it goes to show that there's a complexity of things going on. All the while, it has massive issues around inequality, all the various things that you'd imagine that a London borough would face, and kind of things around child poverty, housing problems, everything that you've heard before in terms of some of the context here. But one thing that they're doing that's really interesting, that really caught my imagination, that I'm really grateful to be part of, is There's a group in Barking down called BD Giving, Barking Dagenham Giving. They're a charitable organisation. They've worked with the council to create a community-led investment pot. So really what they've done is created a pot of money where they're now working with a community and a community group who I've met to decide how that money is designed, how it's going to be used, and how it's going to be spent. And for me, that really showcases the power of actually listening to the community you're looking to serve. I've been lucky to meet that community group as well. It's made up of single mothers, nurses, just regular people who for the first time have been given an option to say, actually, what do you want to do with this money? How do you want to see it spent? And that, for me, showcases the potential charities have in which, if you do give up power, if you do work with the communities that you're looking to serve, let them in on the table, but let them decide. Let them be part of the process around designing some of these solutions and also deciding on how some of these things are spent. Now, I know that's not going to work for every single organisation here, but there are elements of it you can borrow and adapt into your own structures, into your own realities. But I think the key bit here is to actually think about power and actually opening up space for others to come in. So I think for me, that's what I wanted to close on, was to say, actually, look, there is ways in which you do this, and the charity sector is amazingly resilient, it's amazingly innovative, and for what it does, for the resource it gets, it's absolutely mind-boggling in terms of some of the work it does at the local level. So a big well done to you all in that sense. And yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing all the winners today, and also everyone who's just been nominated. Well done for being nominated. It's a fantastic achievement. Thank you.